So here's another exercise that we want to show you, and it's very similar to the boxes where you identify all your different emotions. So this one comes from the Coactive Training Institute, and it's called the Wheel of Life. And it basically takes a circle and it breaks it down into 8 different sections. Those sections include things like your career, lifestyle, your physical environment around your home, romance and relationship, fun and recreation, friends and family, money, and personal growth. So what it has you do, very similar to the boxes, is it has you rate from 1 to 10 how good you're feeling in each of these areas in your life. So maybe you just won the lottery. You feel 10 out of 10. You shade that in all the way 10 out of 10. Maybe you want to have more friends in your life. So that one's like a 6 out of 10. You shade that in to a 6. The other one, career, you can choose how you feel about that between 1 and 10 and shade that in. The Wheel of Life is a really great tool because it allows you to take a picture and a snapshot of all these different areas in your life and kind of gauge about how you're feeling about it in that given day and moment. This tool becomes really powerful when you use it, even just as a mental check in, but even more powerfully on a piece of paper. If you use it once a day or once a week over a given period of time, and you'll start to see the trends in the relationships about how you're feeling in different areas of your life and how they relate to each other. So, a common example for a lot of our participants is that when they feel really good about their career, they can also feel good about their financial status or their money in the rest of their life. Maybe they're feeling really good about their career because they got a raise, and that makes sense. They're feeling good financially. Oftentimes, people can feel really good in their career, not related to the money so much as relation to a strong sense of connection or belonging with their colleagues and their teammates. And so people that feel like really connected to their workplace, they feel a strong sense of belonging, they might also feel really good in other areas of their life because there's so much good stuff going on there. And they notice that over time, when they feel that sense of connection deplete a little bit, that it can also have this cascading effect in other areas of their life where they also feel a bit drained there too. So we encourage leaders and change makers and entrepreneurs to take this tool of the Wheel of Life and just check in how you're feeling in all these different areas, and over time start to notice some trends and commonalities. For both the exercises for the Wheel of Life and the boxes of all of your emotions and feelings, we want you to pay attention to some of the ways that you show up when you're feeling good. Sometimes that can look like confidence, can look like joy, can look like happiness, can feel like love, can look like things like peace or feeling refreshed or even grateful and being excited. What are some of those things that come up on your radar? And inversely, we want you to think a little bit about what shows up when you're not feeling like your needs are being met. So if your Wheel of Life in certain areas, things are feeling low, maybe you feel anxiety, maybe you feel fear or scarcity, maybe you feel conflict of some sort. Maybe it's hard to put words on it, but you know you feel it in your throat or your chest or your gut. Try and locate that both in terms of vocabulary of how you'd explain it to someone, and also try and locate it in terms of how does it show up in your body or your spirit? What kind of sensation? This latter point about how it shows up in your body or your spirit or some sort of sensation becomes really important for what I think is an underrated form of knowledge, and that's our intuition. One of the most powerful things of a change maker, of a community member, and especially of a business leader or an entrepreneur is the ability to rely on our intuition as a true source of knowledge. And in order to do that, we need to clear everything out. So that way, when you show up in the moment and something comes up, when you're doing a business deal or you're trying to figure out how to make more impact in community, you're getting feedback from a customer or client, you can really tackle that head on without getting distracted by all of the other emotions and feelings that we're bringing in from the other areas of our life. And if something that is said to you or shared with you brings something up, you can listen to your intuition and really rely on it because it's not going to get influenced by some other negative thoughts or fears or scarcities or some other really, really positive things that are just distracting us from being able to see something clearly for what it is. Coming back to Carol Sanford's quote about businesses being a living system, I want you to think about a big cedar tree in the forest. Imagine yourself sitting down below this cedar tree, looking up, all the way up. And its branches coming out as crazy tentacles. And then you look back down this cedar tree and you look down and you see how its roots are going down into the earth. And we're going to come back to this metaphor of the tree quite a bit throughout our training. And for now, what I want you to do is think about, how are you nurturing this cedar tree? How do you nurture this tree in the forest? How do you take care of it in the environment that it's sitting in and make sure that it's full of nutrients? If we come back to ourselves as individuals and change makers, we have to ask ourselves that same question. How are we taking care of ourselves? And the first step in that is this emotional awareness of how are we feeling and what are we bringing in.